That was me a couple of years ago, under of my potential in my future, making excuses. But one day you will have to realize that maybe this moment right here could be the time that you actually make the change. Time is not relevant. Timing is.
Your traffic is Blue West 1 taking off, 10 kilos heading back.
But these are my results. That is only what you can see today. Actually, it took a lot of personal development. I focused on my why. I surrounded myself with people who forced me to level up. I invested a lot, money and time. But there is one combination that transformed me from a normal guy to a person with extraordinary results: hard work and consistency. Nobody is going to knock on your door and force you to be successful. The secret? It was one sentence by Worre which changed my life completely. Go out of your head, go into action.
Does that video not make you move? Are you not ready to take action? I want to see hands. Thank you, Jenna Bouchard. Moving. Sandra Rinsky, Paula Haas, Trudy Chalmers. I see you, Susan Snyder. I see you, Daniel Fong. Yeah, I see you, Cami Myers. Go, go, go. Marquise Jackson. What up, bro? Go, man. Jennifer Carrera. Dala Evans. I'm looking around. How's this one? Renee Taylor. Hi, girl. What are you doing? Hey. Good to see you guys. Man, I went Andreas's production company. That was a full-on movie. But did you hear some of the things he said? Nobody's going to come force you to take action. The only thing that separates somebody that you're maybe looking to, he said time and consistency. You're probably seeing people the last 2 days, and as we continue to go forward, you're like, gosh, I wish I was where they are. But everybody started at the same spot. And the only difference between you and the person that you admire right now is time and consistency. And it's about you showing up. It's also about the person that we all have to become to get to the level that we want to get to. And that's why I'm excited about where we're going next. Because, we've talked about our story. We've talked about social media. But this is about moving groups of people, right? This is about building up leaders. This is about investing in other people. Well, I was talking to you about this right before the lunch break, that this isn't about you. And in order to inspire action in others, we got to work on our own leadership. How are we with others? How are we in mentoring and holding others accountable, painting a vision? That all comes from leadership. So I need you to get on your feet, because I'm about to bring the man back to the circle. I see he has the notepad out. He's ready to teach. Get on your feet. Help me welcome back to the stage, Mr. Eric Worre.
All right. All right, everybody, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. You ready? All right, man. Listen. Sam Sia, how you doing, Sam? Good to see you, my friend. How's it going? Good to see your smiling face. This guy's a rock star. He's got a big group watching this program around the world. Good to see you, Sam. Bernard's around here somewhere, I'm sure. I just don't see him on the screen at the moment. But the rest of the team, listen. We're going to pivot hard right now, and I want you to focus, okay? I want you to focus, and I want you to take notes like you've never. Is the following phrase: leadership drives everything. Leadership is the name of the game. Leadership causes action to happen. Leadership causes people who were inactive to become active. Leadership creates consistency. Leadership drives culture. Leadership creates revenue. Leadership expands around the world. I want to spend some time and talk to you about leadership. And I want you to write something in your notes. Even if it doesn't feel real to you. 4 words. Write this down, every single one of you, please. I am a leader. I am a leader. And for some of you, that doesn't feel authentic, and I understand. For some of you, you're like, yeah, that sounds good, but it felt weird to even write it because you don't view yourself as a leader. I get it. I understand. I was there, and I want to help you on the journey from becoming a follower to becoming a leader. Here's the thing that I want you to know. Some people think leaders are born and they're not made. I think both things are true. I think leaders are definitely made, but I also think leaders are born. I think every single one of us are born to be leaders. Lots of different styles. Some people can be over the top, jumping up and down, going crazy. Others are really quiet and reserved. Some are charismatic. Others lead by example. Some are incredible communicators. And others are really good with tactics and systems. Lots of different ways. I want you to understand, no matter where you're at this moment, you can use what you have at this moment in order to lead. Now, what is the goal of leadership? First of all, before I go to that, there were some of you that didn't write down, I am a leader, because you didn't believe it. Some of you actually pretended to write it down, and you didn't write it down. I want you to actually write it down. I am a leader. I am a leader. Write it down. Okay? Fantastic. What are we trying to accomplish in leadership? Well, we're trying to accomplish, what is a leader's job? A leader causes people to do things that they wouldn't have done if that leader wasn't there. A leader creates proper activity. A leader creates a culture, but what does the culture do? It helps to create proper activity. All we're trying to do is help people to take actions that are in their best interest. Help people take actions that are in their best interest, that'll help themselves and help the organization. That requires leadership. You have an organization that procrastinates all the time. A leader shows up, they stop procrastinating. You have a group of people who are grumbling and mumbling and complaining all the time. A leader shows up, they stop grumbling and mumbling and complaining. Leaders drive everything. Everything. And there's 5 different steps of leadership that I want to talk to you about today. And I want to tell you about my journey of going from being the quintessential behind-the-scenes follower to a leader. How did I arrive at this place? Network marketing helped me become a better leader, and it can help you become a better leader as well. And this will serve you not only in your network marketing journey, but it'll serve you in your every other aspect of your life. A better leader for your kids, a better leader for your family, a better leader for your community, a better leader for your religious organizations or your charitable groups, a better leader, a better citizen of the world. So, when I first got started in network marketing, I was not a leader at all in anything. I was the epitome of a follower. The only time I took action is if I was being watched, jumping up and, Mom, Dad, watch me jump in the pool. Right? Watch me ride my bike. Watch me. And if somebody was watching, then I would work. If they stopped watching, I would stop working. I had 18 jobs by the time I was 22 years old. Why? Every time the supervisor stopped supervising, I stopped working. Minimum wage. I was average at everything. I loved playing sports, but I wasn't great at anything. I was okay at every sport I ever played. I was okay at all these different things. You know why? Because I only raised to the expectation of a person observing me. And if they didn't expect much of me, guess what? I didn't do much. I just sat there. So when I got involved in network marketing, the first part for me is, for the first time, you get involved in network marketing. If you come in as a follower, if you come in as someone who needs supervision and instruction, you find yourself, have you ever found yourself, where's my supervision? Shouldn't somebody be telling me what to do? Shouldn't somebody be showing up and saying, hey, get up and do this thing and do that thing? Shouldn't my upline be kind of employing me and driving me to do more things? Shouldn't the company be giving me better instruction? Shouldn't I be getting better training? The company needs better recognition programs and incentives because I need those things in order to be able to achieve, right? So I came in as a follower, and guess what my results were as a follower? Very, very small. I lived a small life. Some of you are living a small life in your network marketing career right now. You're crawling through network marketing and you know it. And you're sick of it. If you're sick of operating underneath your potential, raise your hands, please. If you're sick and tired of playing small or smaller than you're capable, raise your hands. There's another gear for you, and I'm going to give you step 1 of becoming a superstar leader, an all-star. Step 1. Here it is. Write this down. Lead yourself. Before you worry about leading someone else, before you worry about leading your team or leading your company or leading your community, lead you. This was the biggest breakthrough of my life because I realized that my upline wasn't coming to save me. And my company wasn't coming to save me, and the local community of distributors in my city wasn't coming to save me. I realized that I needed to save me, and I also realized about myself that I operated well when people were watching. And I remember at the time, I don't know if you remember this movie. There was this movie, Jason and the Argonauts. You remember this movie with all the Greek gods were looking down from the sky down to Jason, who was having his adventures down on earth? And I remember Zeus and all these different people up in the sky looking down on Jason. And I decided, I played a game in my own mind. And you know what the game was? All the people that I respected were watching me like there was a hidden camera following me. Here's a question, reality question for each of you. If there was a hidden camera following you for the last 7 days, would there be enough evidence to convict you of being a network marketing distributor? Not very many. If there's a hidden camera following you, would there be any doubt why you're not achieving what you should be achieving in your business? If there's a hidden camera following you, would it be a mystery or would it be obvious? It'd be obvious, of course. We're good at telling each other how hard we're working, but we're not working hard. Come on. If there was a hidden camera literally following you around 24/7, your productivity would go through the roof. You'd rank advance once a week. It'd be insane what would happen. But you don't have that gift of somebody showing up. So my first little evolution in my life was pretending that the top distributors and the owners of the company and the people I respected were looking down in the clouds, looking at little Eric and seeing what Eric was doing. And I was down there performing for all these people that I respected. I pretended that there was a hidden camera. So that was phase 1 in leading myself. Phase 2 was a little bit different. I literally, leading yourself is, we all call ourselves self-employed, right? But in truth, we're pretty terrible employers. We're not very good at employing ourselves, if we're honest, right? If you're all honest, you're not very good at employing yourself. Most of you, how many of you are very, very, very dependable for your job? When you go to work, you show up, you don't call in sick, you're there consistently. Raise your hands. If you're consistent, you show up for your employer, you show up on time, you do your work, right? And yet we join network marketing, and because we're used to somebody else employing us, we don't employ ourselves. We give ourselves the day off, and then we give ourselves a week off, and then we give ourselves a month off. And pretty soon we've given ourselves a whole year off. Here's a reality question for each of you. I'd like you to put it in the chat. Ready? Put it in the chat. This is a wake-up call. Ready? How much would you pay someone else to do what you've done building your network marketing business for the past 30 days? How much would you pay another person to do exactly the tasks that you've done to build your network marketing business for the last 30 days? And you see in the chat, this is our biggest problem. We don't know how. We've never been challenged to actually employ ourselves. What is this, all these zeros and $130 and $500 and $50? What does that stand for? It just tells us we're not a good boss. But if we already know that we're good, productive workers, we just need to be a boss and a worker. So, here's what I finally landed on. I split my personality. You ever see these movies where there's people with 2 personalities? I split my personality. And there was Eric 1, who was the boss, and Eric 2, who was the worker. And Eric 1 was tough. Eric 2 was lazy and procrastinated and made all kinds of excuses, but Eric 1 wasn't having it. And this is how I made it work in my mind. I'd get up in the morning and Eric 1 would be standing over the bed. Are you ever going to get out of bed? You going to hit the snooze button one more time? Really? You going to be late again? Get up, Eric 2. You got work to do. Okay. If I was scrolling too much, Eric want to be sitting over my shoulder saying, what are those people doing to pay your bills? Why are you scrolling so much? Come on, Eric 1, Eric 2, get to work. Produce more content than you consume. Come on. Eric 1 would say, okay, Eric 2, how many hours are you going to work your network marketing business today? I'd say as many as I can. Eric 1 would say, look, that's not a good answer. How many? I need a number. 4 hours. Fantastic. Which 4? 4 to 6 and 9 to 11. All right, fantastic. Those 4 hours you're going to work, right? All right, I'm going to be reminding you. I'm going to be making sure. Why don't you set your alarm on your phone right now that starting at 4 o'clock, you're going to work and you're not going to allow any distractions. Okay. Set my alarm. So Eric 1 was tough. Eric 1 didn't allow excuses. Eric 1 was saying, come on, you got a goal, because Eric 2 needed somebody to be hard and push me. So I operated for about 3 years with this mindset of Eric 1 was telling Eric 2 what to do. And he was causing Eric 2 to perform. And you know what happened? After about 3 years, Eric 1 and Eric 2 became the same person. And I didn't need to remind myself anymore what my purpose was on earth. Once you learn how to lead you, and I don't care if it's once a day or once a week, but you need to have a meeting with yourself and say, what does the next 24 hours look like? What does the next 7 days look like? What does 2021 look like? You need to have a meeting with yourself, not your team. We'll get to your team. But you need to have a meeting with yourself and say, what are we prepared to do in 2021? What income are we going to hit? What rank are we going to hit? What disciplines are we going to do? What skills are we going to learn? How powerful are we going to be? How many countries are we going to expand to? You need to have a meeting with yourself right now, a board of directors meeting with yourself, and decide the standards that you're going to be willing to operate under for the next 12 months. Something's got to give. Because if you don't have this meeting, guess what you're doing? You're kind of slowly firing yourself. You've been given a gift. Network marketing is a gift, but it requires self-starting. It requires self-determination. It's lonely sometimes. It's emotional most of the time. It has its ups and downs. It has its challenges. But if you solve this one riddle, how do you employ you? Like you're employed in your job and you're an amazing, consistent, counted on, valued member of the team. If you learn how to employ yourself, you'll go to the top. If I moved into your house, where you would be 12 months from now, I mean, if I was just sitting there in your house, imagine, I move in, and I'm sitting on the couch. You come out, making coffee, hanging around, doing nothing for 3 hours. I'm going to be saying, are you going to build your dream or just going to sit there? How many excuses are you going to allow yourself to have today? And I'd be whispering in your ear 24/7 saying, come on, Kiara, come on, Keisha, come on, Amanda, come on, Frank. For your son, Frank, let's lead your family by example, not make excuses moving into the future. I'd be on you so hard, but with love. I would not allow you to play small. I just wouldn't. I'd push you and push you and push you and push you and push you until you had a breakthrough. And then I would celebrate for a moment. And then I'd push you and push you and push you until you had another breakthrough and another and another and another and another until you found that anytime you wanted to, you could rank advance. That's the truth. So number one, I want you to make a commitment right now that you're going to be the best boss in the world to yourself. Okay? You got that? Number two, how do you lead your team? How do you lead your team? Yeah, okay, once you lead yourself, it gets easy because you're going to replicate what you're doing with yourself with your team. The best way I know to lead your team, I'll give you a handful of things. One, you lead your team with your example. Do what you're asking other people to do. If you want them to be consistent, you be consistent. If you want them to recruit, you recruit. You want them to build their culture, you build a culture. So lead by example, number one. Leadership is lead your team by example. Number two, let me tell you what's important for leadership, leading your team. Consistency. Consistency. People will not trust a leader that's not consistent. Now, I don't mean full-time and I don't mean 80 hours a week, but I do mean consistent. You need to be there consistently. You need to be showing up consistently. You need to be communicating and connecting consistently. If you're hot and cold, I would have tripled my income in building in the field and network marketing if I was more consistent. People subconsciously sabotage their business like crazy and largely from inconsistency. So you got to be consistent with your organization. Lead by example and consistency. One of the most practical ways to lead is with assignments. Assignments and campaigns we already talked about for duplication. Give your team some assignments. Watch them rise. Because guess what? Most of them are trained to be employees. So if you act like the boss, if you act like the supervisor, if you act like the entrepreneur and say, guess what? Let's do this together. Let's all of us get one customer today. Let's see who can get a customer today. And let's recognize them for that achievement. And let's use this tactic to do it. Lead them with assignments. Lead them with direction. All great leaders have 5 attributes. I want you to write these 5 attributes down. All great leaders have 5 attributes. Number 1, they're independent. Remember I told you about trying to go from dependence to independence? They're independent. They don't need anybody else. They're friends with everybody else, but they don't need anybody else in order to be able to grow their business. So my challenge for each one of you is to work on getting yourself to independent so you don't need anybody. Number 2, they're excellent problem solvers. Good leaders are excellent problem. A problem shows up, your company changes the compensation plan. They solve the problem. Problem shows up, some disruptive person shows up in the group. They solve the problem. Whatever the problem is, understand this, problem solving is the highest paid skill in the world. The bigger the problem that you're able to solve, the bigger the paycheck. Decide that you're going to become a world-class problem solver. Now, you know what? Some people think that they're a good problem solver, and you know why? Because they're able to quickly give their problems to someone else. Shailene just gives her problems to Wesley. Here, let me give you my problem. Wesley takes the problem and says, well, thanks. And Wesley has to try and solve the problem, and Shailene thinks that she solved it. She didn't solve it. She just gave it to somebody else. Some of you are really good at giving problems to somebody else. Giving problems to your upline, giving problems to your company, giving problems to your team, giving problems to your family. Instead of giving problems to other people, learn how you can solve problems. Become world-class at solving problems. Don't spend too much time on the problem. 5% of the time understanding the problem, 95% of the time solving the problem and getting past it. Learn how to solve problems quickly, effectively, efficiently, and move forward. So 1, You need to be consistent. You need to be independent. Number 2, you need to be a great problem solver. Number 3, you need to be consistent. We talked about that already. Independent, problem solver, consistent. Number 4, you need to have a big vision. A big vision. And you need to have the ability to communicate that vision and tell it to the world. What is your vision for your team? What is your vision? Some of you don't have a vision. You just have the company's vision, or you just have your upline's vision. What's your vision? What's your vision for what your product or service is going to do for the world? What is your vision for the independence and freedom that you're going to be able to create within your organization? What's your vision for expanding in different countries around the world? What's your vision for helping people go from desperate situations to an amazing situation? What's your vision for having people see the potential that's inside of them and unlocking that potential? What is your vision for how many people you're going to have at your company convention? What is your vision for how many leaders are going to be in the Network Marketing Pro $1 million Hall of Fame? What is your vision? You have to have the vision, and you have to have the ability to articulate the vision. Let me give you a secret. Listen to this. Once your vision gets strong enough and clear enough, people will join you for your vision more than they will for your product. They'll join you for your vision more than for the compensation plan. For your vision more than the company or for network marketing. Once you get this solid enough, people will come from miles around because they've heard about your vision. All you'll be talking about is your vision. They won't even worry about the details. So I want you to start thinking about, what is your vision? For yourself, for your team, for the product, for financial freedom, for global expansion? What is your vision? Not just selfishly, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. There's nothing wrong with you wanting to take care of your family. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't ever want you to feel bad about that. You take care of your family so you have the opportunity to be able to take care of others. It's okay. Some of you are in companies where it's kind of like, oh, I'm sorry I make money from doing this. You need to be proud. We're entrepreneurs. We are the people who drive the economy of the entire world, right? Entrepreneurs create things, build things, make things, fix things, make the world a better place, innovate. That's what we do, okay? We get rewarded for doing those things, and we can take with the money that we make and do whatever we want. Give it away if you want to, but don't ever apologize for the fact that you created enough value in order to be able to earn an income inside of this profession, because in this business, you only get rewarded for helping other people. And you're going to get paid penny for penny based upon the value that you're bringing the organization and the value you're bringing to other people's lives. Your paycheck is a reflection exactly to the penny of how much value you're bringing to the world. So do with the paycheck what you want based upon your programming. But you need to drive that paycheck as high as you can, because you know what that's saying? You're bringing value to the world. You can't do it and take advantage of somebody else. It can't happen. Can't happen. So number 1, independence. Number 2, problem solver. Number 3, consistency. Number 4, big vision, the ability to articulate that vision. And number 5, a great leader creates activity, action, creates activity when there wouldn't have been any activity in their organization. We do that through assignments. We do that through challenges. We do that through campaigns. We do that leading people to take more action than they would have taken. These are the 5 major characteristics of a key leader. So number 1, You want to build a business, build a big business, you want to be a leader, number one, lead yourself. Number two, learn how to lead your team. Develop these characteristics and lead your team. The third area of leadership I want to talk about is how do you find people on your team that have the potential of being a leader? Because if leadership is the engine that drives it all, the more leaders that you can develop inside your organization, the bigger your team's going to be, the more impact you're going to have around the world. Would you agree? So, how do you spend the most efficient time helping to find people in the team that have the potential of being a leader? It's not a huge group. You're looking for three things. We talked about this yesterday. What are the three things that we're looking for in order to be able to invest our time? The three things that we're looking for. They need to be willing. They need to be coachable. And they need to be hungry. They need to be willing, coachable, hungry. And with that, I've got good news and bad news for each one of you and for everybody on your team. If you're not willing, coachable, and hungry, those three things, you cannot make big money in network marketing. It's not in the cards for you. The best you can hope for is to be a network marketing tourist. Thanks for coming to the network marketing theme park. Take some pictures, meet some friends, go on all the rides. Hope you enjoy it. But eventually we know you're going home. Most people who come to Las Vegas to visit, they eventually go home. They're tourists. Most people who join your organization are tourists. And that's okay. Vegas loves its tourists, and you should love your tourists too. We hope that they keep using the product. They hope when they go home, they keep using the product. They're not going to be a permanent resident. Stop being so freaked out that the tourists inside of your group are not staying to be permanent residents because they never intended to. Let it go. They're tourists.
Let it go, let it go.
They're here for a minute. Now, here's the good news. If you are willing, coachable, and hungry, that's all you need. You don't need anything else. You don't need talent, skill, where you live in the world, the language you speak, the color of your skin, your prior experience, successes or failures. None of that matters. If you're willing, coachable, and hungry, that's all you need to literally go all the way to the top, reinvent your entire story forever. And that was the best news in the world for me when I first heard it, because that's all I had. I didn't have anything else. But I was willing and I was coachable and I was hungry. That's what you're looking for. So look into your organization and find out who's willing, coachable, and hungry. And here's how you know, because they're all going to tell you that they are. We're going to know by giving them assignments. We talked about it yesterday, remember? We give them an assignment. If they don't do it, lower the assignment, lower it, lower it, lower it. If they never follow any assignments, we know they're a tourist. But if we find their level where they're willing to take action and we start increasing and we find that they're willing, coachable, and hungry, spend all the time in the world with them. But listen, if they're only 2 out of 3 and they will not be the third, you can't afford to spend any personal time with them. And some of you have been rescuing lost sheep for years, and you need to stop. Let them be. If they're willing and hungry, but they're not coachable, you can't afford to spend any time with them if they won't listen. If they're coachable and hungry, but they're not willing, you can't spend any time with them. If they're willing and coachable, but they're not hungry, you can't afford to spend any time with them. But if they are all three, lock them to your hip. And don't let them out of your sight. And pour yourself in. You want to live forever? You want to know how to live forever? Want to be immortal? Do this. Here's how to live forever. Pour a little bit of yourself into someone else. Pour a little bit of yourself into another person. Pour a little bit of yourself into somebody else and you'll live forever. And they'll do the same, and they'll do the same, and they'll do the same. Why do you think we're doing what we're doing over the course of this event together? So number 1, lead yourself. Number 2, lead your team. Number 3, identify potential leaders based upon this 3 criteria and giving them assignments. And you will find out through your assignments whether they are willing, coachable, and hungry. If they are, then step number 4, mentor those people into leadership. Mentor them into independence. Mentor them into problem solvers. Mentor them into consistency. Mentor them into a big vision, not just your vision. Mentor them into action creation. Mentor them. Don't let, you know how many people, the 5 characteristics I gave you of a leader, right? Independent problem solver, consistent, big vision, and creates action. If a person's making $1 million a year, how many people on their entire team do you think that they have on average that meet all 5 of those criteria? How many people do you think? Put into the chat how many people you think they average in order to be able to have $1 million a year income. Average is about 25. Only 25. You can mentor 25 people into those 5 characteristics. Every one of you can. Mentor yourself into it and mentor them into it as well. 25 is average. Even if they've got 100,000 people on the team, they got 25 that meet those criteria. And are those criteria impossible to learn? No. They're very possible to learn. So mentor them. Pour yourself into those people. Talk to them on a weekly basis, minimum. Work together. That is your mastermind group. That is the power team inside of your organization in order to be able to build a dynasty. So that's criteria number 4. Mentor those people. And criteria number 5. Duplicate leadership. I work with a lot of top leaders from around the world. What I work on, number 1, is helping them become a leader. And then some of them get stuck there. They're the only leader. Everybody else on their team is followers. They're very good at leading, but they're not good at creating leaders. So step 2 is we help them create more leaders. And some of them have a difficult time accepting other leaders within their little sandbox. They want to be the only one. You got to learn how to have the maturity of being able to duplicate yourself in leadership and the maturity to be able to see leadership duplicating that looks a little bit different than you, that does it a little bit different than you. And be okay with the fact that you can stay consistent in your culture on the concepts, but don't get hung up on the tiny little tactics. Everybody doesn't have to clean the kitchen exactly like you clean the kitchen. Everybody doesn't have to bathe the little baby the same way that you bathe the baby. As long as the baby's clean, at the end, we're good. So don't get hung up on how you do it and force other people to live under your umbrella too long. Because if you suffocate your people with your leaders, if you suffocate people based upon never giving them any oxygen, taking all the sunlight, taking all the credit, doing all the things, being all things to all everyone, a good leader will leave your team because they won't see any opportunity for them to be able to grow. They'll never get any sunshine. They'll never get any stage time. They'll never get a chance to be able to blossom and develop on their own. Or maybe they feel the resentment from you and the push down from you because they're trying to perform and you're resisting them because your ego is being fed by being the one and only. Let go of your ego. Ego is the enemy. There's a great book called Ego is the Enemy, Ryan Holiday. I would highly recommend that you read it. Another one of his books, The Obstacle is the Way, is absolutely legendary. you should read both of those books by Ryan Holiday. The ego is the enemy, and the obstacle is the way. Don't let your ego get in the way of your legacy. Don't let your ego get in the way of duplicating leadership. Yes, hold your standards, but also allow people the freedom to spread their wings a little bit. So those are the 5 areas of leadership that I wanted to chat with you about today. Number 1, lead yourself. Number 2, lead your team. Number 3, identify potential leaders within your organization. Number 4, mentor. Mentor those people into those 5 areas of leadership that we talked about. And number 5, duplicate leadership. You see the true legends in network marketing, they have leaders in depth, in width, yes, but in depth on top of it. They're not the only one. These 5 criteria will give you freedom. They'll help you live your legacy. They'll help you totally reinvent your life, and you'll be immortal if you follow these 5 stages of leadership, because you'll be pouring into other people, and they'll be raising up. You'll be showing up in their testimonial 100 years from now. You'll be showing up in their testimonial 200, 300 years from now. Jose Martinez believed in me, and because he believed in me, I went out and changed the world. Stephanie Patterson believed in me, and because she believed in me, she poured herself into me, I went out and changed the world. You understand what I'm saying? Leadership drives it all. There's no more noble a business in the world than the business that celebrates the development of people. And that's what we do. I was lost when I joined this profession. I was struggling in life. I was scared that life was going to pass me by. I did not know what the solution was going to be, and then network marketing showed up. And number 1, it exposed a lot of weaknesses that I needed to work on. But number 2, it showed me how I could first lead myself, then lead my team, and then teach other people how to do the same thing. It showed me how to be a leader. It can show you how to do the same thing. So here's what I'd like to do now. I hope you got some good notes from this. What I'd like you to do now is we're going to go into dashboard exercises 7 and 8. Dashboard exercises 7 and 8. And then we're going to break into small groups. I want to rate yourself right now, prior to even this conversation, on a scale of 1 to 10 on your ability to lead you. How good are you at leading yourself? And be honest, God is watching. Scale of 1 to 10, how good are you at leading yourself? Question number 2, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good are you at leading your team? And I want you to just kind of estimate how many people on your team have the potential of being a leader, do you think? If you were to just to pick a number, how many people on your team? Later, I want you to write all those names down, and I want you to test them with assignments. Okay? But right now, how many people do you have on your team? What is your potential of, what is your group of potential leaders on the team that you can work with in order to be, that are willing, coachable and hungry? Who are those people that you can work with and to mentor into leadership? And I don't think we want to do this now. Not 8, just 7. Just 7. Okay, so what I'd like you to do now, after you answer these things, I would like you to break into your groups right now, and I want you to share with each other, scale of 1 to 10, what you're at with those first 2 questions, how many people you have on your team, and what is your, here's the big question, what is your strategy to develop the leader in you and in your team in the next 12 months? What is the strategy to develop yourself and your teammates into better leaders in the next 12 months? Okay, that's the big question. Go into your breakout groups and share with each other. Be honest and be authentic, be vulnerable, okay? Go.
Okay.
I kind of hesitant earlier before because I wasn't sure what anybody else was doing.
Yeah. So, who's your upline?
Upline would be Tasha Harper.
And then who's the leader?
That would be Tasha Harper, and then my upline would be Juanita Barbreza.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So as far as
where you from?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay. I'm in Stockton right now. I'm originally from Chicago though. I'm part of FES too, so I'm just getting started.
Okay, well, welcome.
Thank you.
I'm probably about a month into it as a.
Oh wow, you sound so nice.
And I only got one person under me, so.
That's good.
That's the start. That's how you do it, one at a time.
Nice. Hi, Coach Kev. Good. We're basically going around seeing where everybody's from real quick.
Let's see.
Right. Nice. Mm-hmm. Nice.
Okay, that's good.
This is nice.
I'll go next. So, leading myself, I would say I'm a 7 in leading myself. My team isn't too big, so I feel like I have at least, and me leading my team, I think I'm a 7 as well. And estimating how many people on my team that are runners, that are willing, coachable, and hungry, I would say about 8, to be honest. Maybe 8 to 12. And my strategies for developing myself, my team members, I want to focus more on having a better system. I think I need that for my team a lot because we have scripts, we get scripts from Amina and Alfred or whatnot. But my thing is like, sometimes people they have different kind of personalities, summer, winter, spring, and fall. And it's hard to understand them when you're so driven. So I know I have to work on that myself as far as understanding them. So if I have a system that works for them, whether somebody who's a spring, okay, listen, I got this for you, or you have to know how to approach them or teach them how to approach people, like maybe switching up the script a little bit, that'll work. So that's my goal.
Oh, that's a good one.
Thank you.
I guess I'll go next. Tanisha, I think for the leader in me, I think I am about a 6.57. I can lead myself. Working on leading others, that's where I kind of struggle because I get a little impatient. It's almost like, okay, we know we got to do this. This is helping people. We know it works. So just do it. So just a little bit working on that. I just started, so I really don't have a team yet. But I'm working on developing that, maybe using the drip system. Just kind of have a system, but just constantly being in contact with them and just continuing dropping nuggets as we move through the process. And then the goal is I would love everyone to be a leader on my team, but after listening today, 100% may not be possible. So maybe just aiming for that goal of at least if I have 25, then I can do the drip system and then just the duplication, learning to duplicate, so I don't feel like I have to do everything myself just to make sure it's getting done and people are being helped. So
Nice. It's nice to know that you're new and you came to GoPro. That's awesome, man. I wish I had GoPro when I first started.
yeah,
Girl,
this is all new, and I'm like, okay, all right, but hey, I'm trying to get in there and get it all. So
You're doing the right thing.
help people.
Okay, let's go on Margarito. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Millie. I'm sorry.
So that's okay. I'll mute myself.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. So I'm with FES. My upline is Alfred Nixon, Alyssa Barnes, Jabari Sadler. Those are my leaders. Keisha Woodbine. I don't currently have a team at the moment, so my goal is to be able to implement the strategies that have been discussed today, to pretty much help develop myself as a leader so that I can be able to identify the leadership and others, potential leaders, and to grow a team so that when I do have that team, then I can lead them and teach them the right strategies to be successful. That's it.
Nice. All right, Diana, you're next.
Well, my story is a little bit the same. I'm in Maryland. Alfred Nixon is the leader. Derek Holston is who I really work with. And I'm new, but I joined a while ago, but I just couldn't get anything focused because I had way too much going on in personal life. So I had to close a lot of chapters out. So I have a team, but not really. So I'm definitely just sponging everything here. I think it's incredible and I'm excited. I can't wait to implement, especially social media. I'm a little introverted in that sense, although I feel like I'm a great leader, but social media makes me nervous. So I'm excited to jump in on that one.
All right, well then you have to go live tonight. After we're done here, you have to go live.
And don't think about it, just do it.
Exactly.
I don't even have a profile.
Yeah.
So I got to develop a profile for somebody to come back to.
GoPro, say your story. Say what you just said.
Okay.
Yeah, look, I'm telling you to do it. I used to be so nervous to go live because I was everything that woman said today about live. That was me all the way. I was so scared, and my team would be like, "What, you?" Because I'm so outgoing, but doing live was not my thing. And I started doing it. I'm telling you, it makes a difference.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Margarito, you're next.
Okay, so I forgot what we were talking about.
We are talking about leadership. So
yes, my leadership. I mean,
1 to 10.
as far as myself, I think, I hear a lot that you're too hard on yourself. So as far as that leadership, probably, I'm guessing I'm average.